Oh, what's up, everybody? It's Thursday, September 22nd, 2022, the morning after AEW Dynamite Grandslam, which, in my opinion, was an awesome show. 5 matches, 3 title changes, a huge crowd. Saraya, aka Paige from the WWE, made an appearance. The crowd went nuts. They went ballistic. This show, let me tell you, if it doesn't get over 1 million plus viewers, I don't get it. But I will say this. If and when the viewership comes out, and they do, it goes to show you one thing. You don't need CM Punk. You don't need Omega and the Young Bucks. I'm just saying. Go with what you got. Move on. And I think Tony Khan actually did a great job last night. Let's run it now. Chris Jericho facing Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. Now, going into this match, I said to myself, well, Jericho is going to take the loss. Claudio is going to retain. It was a really good, brutal match which opened the show. And much to my surprise, Chris Jericho won the Ring of Honor World title. I was shocked. I was totally shocked. This is a match that I thought was a no-brainer going into this show. But Tony Khan, he mixed it up. And when I get done reading off the matches, I'm going to tell you sort of my reasonings why he mixed it up. And we'll get to that shortly. Next up, the tag team titles. AEW tag team titles. Swerve in Our Glory, Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee versus The Acclaimed. The Acclaimed got a huge pop in Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York. And I predicted this a while ago, that this has to be the time that The Acclaim gets over on the tag champs and win those belts. Because right now they're so popular, how can you not give them the title? It was one of those slow type matches, unlike the last time at All Out, which I think was more faster paced. I think the match at All Out was probably a little better, but The Acclaimed just did it. Swerve came in, he was gonna hit Bowens or Caster with the boombox, and inadvertently hit Keith Lee, and it all went down to the end, where guess who is now new AEW World Champions? The Acclaimed. I am so happy for these kids. I wanted to see this the last time. They didn't pull the trigger on it. And maybe Khan said, hey, I'm going to do it in front of a bigger crowd. Even though Chicago is a good crowd, but Arthur Ashe Stadium holds a bit more, a lot more actually. And I love the setup, the production of AEW with this, because the tunnels were lit up behind. The ramp had like a roadway, and you showed cars going down the ramp leading into the ring. This was an awesome setup. Obviously, I don't think AEW can do these kind of setups all the time, because you have to have a bigger arena to go to get it done. But congrats to The Acclaimed. We saw Pac and Orange Cassidy for the All-Atlantic Championship. Now, this is one match that I thought could go either way, because Orange Cassidy always seems to get into those big matches, and he never seems to get the victory. So I said to myself, going into the show, maybe Cassidy will end up winning the AAC belt. But after Jericho and the Acclaimed won, I'm saying somebody's got to retain. And it was a good match. It really was a good match. But all in all, you look at the physicality of the match. Who honestly is more agile? They both are good in the ring. But Pac, pound for pound, is an awesome wrestler. I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of Orange Cassidy. And I'll tell you that right now. But Pac ended up retaining. So then we went to the four-way match for the interim women's title. Toni Storm, Serena Deeb, Britt Baker, and Athena. Going in, I figured Toni Storm was coming out of this still with the belt. I don't know where this interim title's going. Is Thunder Rosa still with the company, or isn't she? I don't know. There's been reports she wanted a release and this and that, but we haven't heard anything really since. So I gather she's still there. But anyhow, it was a pretty good four-way match. And Britt Baker looked like she could have broken her nose again. She was bleeding quite badly. But, a good match going back and forth. And at the end, Toni Storm retained her interim AEW's women's title. And that's when the music hit. The crowd went crazy. Here comes out Saraya. I mean, I'm looking at her and I'm going, that's Paige, man. And, because she looks quite different from when I used to see her back in the WWE days. And I haven't really seen her in a long time. But the crowd gave her the biggest pop you could not believe. And then when she comes into the ring and goes, this is my house, that's what Paige used to do back in the WWE when she walked into the ring. So huge surprise for AEW fans. I thought that was cool. We're all complaining about WWE people coming to AEW. But Paige, to me, is sort of like how CM Punk was. She wasn't doing nothing with anybody. So, and it's been a while. So, congrats to Tony Khan for that. The main event. Now, going into this, I thought it was a no-brainer. I thought Bryan Danielson was winning this match because I'm figuring Jon Moxley wants his vacation. He wants his 6 weeks off. Boy, was I shocked. This was a brutal beatdown by both people. The crowd loved it. MJF's sitting up in the stands with his little casino chip because he can cash it in any time to face the world champion. And when the count was 3, and it was Jon Moxley, I'm going, holy shit. Moxley gets the belt back again. This is stuff that AEW usually do not do. And I'm sort of liking what they've been doing. Now, to my point when I was saying earlier, no Kenny, no Young Bucks, no Punk. If the viewership, which should get over 1 million from last night, does, Tony Khan's got to say, hey, I can do this without him. And quite frankly, I think Punk should go anyway. I've been stating that. The Bucks and Kenny, not so much. But now, tomorrow night on Rampage, we have like a battle royal. Now, there's spoilers out there. I haven't read them. Hangman Page is involved in it. And I'm thinking Hangman's going to win it. And it makes sense because they're going to have a title match on, I believe it's October 19th on Tuesday night for the AEW World title. We've already seen Hangman and Bryan Danielson. Wouldn't that be something? Hangman and Moxley? I would love to see it. So if it develops like that, it'd be awesome. If it isn't Hangman, okay, no big deal. But I'm liking what AEW did last night. I give credit to Tony Khan. I think he put together a really great show, and it was the biggest selling Dynamite ever. Well, you had a bigger crowd and whatnot, and he needs to go back to Arthur Ashe every year. And September's perfect, especially after the U.S. Open is all said and done. I loved it. We'll wait and see what happens. And somebody wrote an article saying AEW is addition by subtraction. I believe in that. You're bringing in other guys to get on the main show. And that's what you need to do. We don't need to see the Omegas and the Young Bucks. And, quite honestly, I used to be a CM Punk fan, but enough is enough, and your attitude sucks. But, eventually, if these ratings hover in the millions, low millions, Khan's going to say, I made a mistake. I don't need him. So there you have it. This is the Iceman on the Iceman V2013 YouTube channel. Peace out, everybody. And if you didn't see the show, watch it because it was awesome.